Change the following decimal into percentage. So we had been converting percentages into decimals, but now we're doing the reverse. So we're converting decimals into percentages. Decimals to percentages. Percent. So emphasis on the word cent again. Cent means 100. Cent literally means 100, which means we'll be dealing with 100 here. So let's take a look at the first step. So step 1 is to identify the operation that has to be done to get to the desired result, which is converting a decimal into a percentage. So we rewrite this number down that is given to us, which is 0.35, and we know that we will be dealing with cent here, which means 100. Now since we need to get rid of the decimal, we know that we need to multiply this number, and 100 is the number which we're going to be multiplying with. Now we have the operation written down, but before I move on to the second step and solve this, I want you to make a very quick note of this general rule that is going to help you solve this question and others like this question. So the rule is, whenever we're multiplying a number which has a decimal in it and the number that we're multiplying it with has zeros, which means we're dealing with 10 or 100 or 1000 or any similar numbers, the decimal moves towards the right. So that is the first rule. So the decimal is always going to move towards the right when we're multiplying a decimal number. The second rule is to identify the number of spaces that the decimal point is going to move. So in order to be able to do that, we need to calculate the number of zeros in the number that we're going to multiply the number with, which is, let's suppose, 10. So 10 has 1 0, which means the decimal is going to move 1 space towards the right. Or if we're multiplying it with 100, which means 2 zeros now, so the decimal is going to move 2 places towards the right. Similarly for 1000, which means 3 zeros, the decimal is going to move 3 places towards the right, so on and so forth. So now that we know what we need to do, let's go on to solving this. So 0.35 multiplied by 100. So we know that the decimal is going to move towards the right since we're talking about multiplying this number, and we also know that the decimal is going to move 2 places towards the right since we're dealing with 100 here, which means 2 zeros. So the decimal moves 1 and 2 places towards the right, so it's going to shift right after 5. Now I can write this down as 35.0, but that is not required since we need to convert it into a decimal. So we use the decimal symbol instead, and we're done. So 0.35 when converted into a percentage is 35%.